Well, it was summertime in the late 90s. I was on a trip with about 30 other kids from SoCal, and we drove down to central Baja, Mexico. Our job for a full week was to host music and sports camps for kids in the local area. And it was here, on this trip, that I'd like to introduce you to our first queen. Kathy, the lady of the ranch and the owner of the home, was your 1990s version of an Airbnb host, the home hotel booking app. Except she gave us chores, made all the food, and told us exactly how this show was going to be run. You could say she was a little stern and had a no-nonsense air, so you better believe we did exactly as she said. Well, let me tell you about the water in Mexico. Well, as you could probably imagine, in 1990-something, on a semi-remote desert campsite in the middle of Baja, Mexico, bottled water was a pretty precious resource and commodity. Would you agree? Yes. So one evening, after a long, arduous, hot, sweaty day, she said, "Elijah, you're strong. Can you grab that water jug over there and put it on the base for me?" Well, feeling so honored and responsible, I push my chest back a little bit and smile and walk over to do it. I pull the blue plastic tab on top off. I go to hoist it up and confidently dump it in the base there. And I missed. Yeah. I missed, and water starts spewing everywhere. All over the dispenser, the concrete floor, my shoes, my clothes, everywhere. And I froze. It was already on. I didn't know what to do. Well, all the other kids are laughing at me and going on and so forth. And there was Kathy by the door, patiently waiting for the clamor to die down. I was so embarrassed. I ran over to her and apologized over and over with a patient smile. She said, "That's all right. Do me a favor, go back over and get another jug and do it again." My eyes got about this big. I said, "What? No, I do not want to do that again. You got the wrong man for the job." Another kid chimed in, "Oh, I'll do it. I do it at home all the time." And Kathy said, as if she planned the whole thing and smiled, "No, Elijah, you do it again." So as all my friends watched, I go back over, grab another jug, take it to the dispenser, take the blue tab back off, and pause. I look back at her with this, "Are you absolutely sure?" kind of look. And like the queen she is, she says, "Elijah, this time, when you get it right next to the top, just dump it in a little faster. You'll be fine." So easy, right? So as all my friends watched, I do exactly as she said. Up to the top, get it, and then, guess what happened? I got it! Yeah. I feel like I won the lottery that day. Remember, water was precious here. A couple jugs left. But I tell you, I did win the lottery that day because a powerful, wonderful, insightful woman taught me an invaluable lesson that still lives with me today. Well, what could she have done? Well, she could have ridiculed me, chastised me, dismissed me, shamed me, so many things, right? But instead, Kathy bet on me again. And she honored me publicly. She said, "You matter. Despite what you've done wrong, you matter." That's why she told me, "Do it again." She said, "Your value is much beyond stuff. I now understand that. See, I didn't realize at the time, but Kathy knew the play. Thank you, Kathy. During my most formidable college years, or as some would call the Red Cup days, Red Cup days, is where we're going to meet this next queen. Our bond began when I was a freshman taking her course, Intro to Sociology. About halfway through the semester, she says, Elijah, I'd like you to teach my class on diversity and race relations when I'm going to be out of town. Well, this was pretty esteeming, but her esteem of me became a pretty regular pattern. So on her return, she said, hey, I got great feedback. I just want to thank you again for teaching my class. And she said, listen, next year, I've got a senior level course called Sociology of Women. And I'd like you to be one of the 2 men that I've selected, much like Sue Talks. I'd like you to be one of the 2 men that I've selected to take this course. She said, well, you're going to need to walk with these women for a full year. So I'm going to need your commitment for a full year. For the men in the room, I had a healthy dose of fear and humble appreciation because she asked me to be a part of something so special. So one day in her class, she says, class, in a few weeks, we're going to go to Chino, maximum security prison, where women are serving life sentences for killing their abusive husbands. She said, what we find interesting in all of these cases is there's years after years of 911 calls and abuse reports that have seemingly fallen on the deaf ears of our system. I couldn't believe it. I was going to prison. Like, to meet with women who killed their abusive husbands. But what would I say? What could I say? I mean, sure, I was 19, but I was still a man. Would they want to hear from me? I don't know. But I tell you, as soon as I walked into the room with these ladies, and they were shackled all the way up until they got into the main room with us, I noticed this very serious emotion overtaking me. I mean, there's cold metal gates, thick, heavy doors, layer after layer, multiple security checks. You know, these ladies gave me something so great. I met the most wonderful, sweetest, down-to-earth, educated, in prison women that you ever met. They had such a beauty on them, I couldn't even tell you. See, Dr. Leonard wanted my voice in that class. But what she gave me is far greater. She gave me personal purview into the psychology, training, roles, norms, drivers, dreams, fears, and the rules that women were socialized to play by. Hard times, hard things for me to grasp as a 19-year-old. But through this course, I found some of the most amazing associations with women. I mean, she taught me how to powerfully advocate and powerfully connect with women. Now, I'm humbly still learning, but I owe Dr. Leonard so much because she invited me into a conversation with women I would have never had the chance to be in. Yeah. So I didn't realize this at the time. But being in her class taught me to be a better dad, a better partner, and a better friend to women as a result. Thank you, Dr. Leonard. Well, moms give their kids so much, right? Moms in the room, right? But my mom gave me the biggest gift a mom could give a son. And guess what that is? Belief. And true belief gives you wings. You know, the one thing my mom would say to me growing up is, I believe in you. You can do anything you put your mind to. And she reminded me of this very often. I mean, these words have stuck with me my entire life. She would say things like, you're going to be the first millionaire in our family. Working on it. Or, you know, Grandma said you were special when you were in my womb. Heavy stuff, right? Yeah. Well, let me lighten the room for just a little bit. Okay. You can also thank my mom for my impeccable fashion sense. Okay. Not that impressed. Okay, I'll work on it. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, she taught me that when you look good, you feel good. Ladies, can you hear me? She taught me that when you look good, you feel good. And I don't know about you, but I feel okay tonight, I guess, you know. So I think it worked, right? Come to think of it, she had us looking so sharp as kids that I didn't even realize we were poor. Like, she had us looking like $1 million when we had $0. You know what I mean? See, that level of magic, that can only be accomplished and done by a loving and intentional mom. See, I didn't realize at the time, but my mom also knew the play, as evidenced in how she raised me. Thank you, Mom. Oh, this one's special. I'm going to do my best not to cry. Our fourth and final queen I want to introduce you to today. Well, she's more of a pre-queen. Let's call her a queen in training. She's my 13, almost 14-year-old daughter, Chloe. She happens to be here tonight. Yeah. Chloe is the most loving, intelligent, self-disciplined. This girl makes her own homework. I'm not kidding. Her and her friends will go to the library on book club days or whatever else, or Barnes & Noble, and do book reports during the summer because they want to. She's the most sweetest, loving, giving young woman you ever met. See, and I realize as her dad that I get the wonderful privilege of shepherding her life. I understand that my relationship with her has a direct correlation to the type of partner she might choose herself as she grows up. Big responsibility. But I tell you what, she makes it really easy. You know, her friends' parents would say things like, Elijah, your daughter, Chloe, can hang out with my kids whenever she wants, because I want her to rub off on them. I mean, what a compliment, right? What a compliment. I tell you, Chloe is the type of young lady that even if she needed toothpaste, she could just come to Daddy and ask for toothpaste. But this girl will roll up the last little bit. She'll make sure that her brothers have stuff before she has stuff. When she was a young girl, I would want to give her a treat for doing something special. She'd be like, well, what about Niall? I don't know. I just think the Lord, God, somehow somebody downloaded this beautiful human being into my precious daughter. But guess what? She will also know the play. Because, you know, I told you a story of 4 queens tonight. But I made a vow when I was a young man, around her age actually, that I would never, ever allow my children to wonder or guess where their dad was or if they were loved like I did. I realized that the impact that I could have in her life was way beyond the type of impact that a man could just have by just forgive the expression, being a sperm donor. I don't know if I can say that here at Sue Talks, but instead of just being a donor to having a baby. You get my point? Sorry. And this young gal now will know the play, like I said, because of the four queens and so many others that have been a part of my life and hers. So today I've told you about four queens. I've told you about the legacy and life that they've had, and the reflection that they've had in my life. But I tell you that Chloe, my daughter, will be the benefactor of this in me, the legacy that I'm carrying through to her, and I hope this legacy also carries in you as well.